Delighted to say we have the trainer of Mshawish, the multi-Eclipse award-winning trainer from the US, Todd Pletcher, and Harry Herbert, racing manager to Al Shakab. I think that's your title, Harry. But Todd, first of all, you've had cracks at the World Cup before. Indeed, you've trained the runner-up in the race. Does this feel like a really good chance to finally get a World Cup on your CV?
We're certainly optimistic. The horse is in great form. His last two races on the dirt at Gulfstream in the U.S. were quite strong, and we love the way he's shipped over, the way he's handled it. He's a seasoned pro at this point, and he's been to Maidan now. I think this would be the third time. So he's a fully mature horse that takes these things in stride, and I think that's a big component to hopefully being successful.
It was a pretty hot race he ran in last year here, with obviously Solo winning, but presumably you were still pretty pleased with that third. We were.
We thought he ran a terrific race, and actually we were all talking earlier today. I mean, he's a horse that consistently shows up and gives a good effort every time. He's remarkably consistent.
Straightforward horse to train. It sounds like that. Presumably is comforting when you get a horse like that, or does he have his quirks?
Well, I mean, his quirks are only that he's so willing, and he likes his job, and he can be a sometimes aggressive horse to in his morning routine. But Nick Bush, his exercise rider, gets along with him really well, and he's traveled with him now both years over here, and so we know his kind of what he likes, and Nick's done a great job with him, and his works leading into this have been really borderline spectacular.
That's very encouraging. Now you've got the two spot. If you're borderline spectacular, that's a good line. But do you think you'll need to be borderline spectacular to win tomorrow?
Well, probably you can erase the borderline part, and spectaculars. I'm sure that's what it's going to take to win a race of this, of this stature. And we have tremendous respect for the horses that we know well, coming from the U.S. and California Chrome. Is obviously a Derby and a Preakness winner, and he's had a good run here last year and a good prep, and Frosted looks to be in good form. And Opportunity is another horse, you have to respect Bob Baffert and his chances in any of these big races, and that horse is a grinder, and he'll stay the mile and a quarter. So I think it's a strong American contingent, and I think Mshawish is part of that as well.
And obviously knows what it's like here, but on the dirt, everything's suggesting that he's handling this particular dirt service very, very well.
Seems to get over it really well in the mornings. I mean, he's built a bit of fanfare, I think, since he's been here, because he's looked so well.
And out in the morning, you've obviously been seeing some of the others. I mean, the Chromies are out in force. We watch California. You watch Californian Chrome and the others. What are you assessing their condition at the same time?
Oh, yeah, I mean, you obviously watch all of them that are out there, but those horses seem to be in good form.
The two draw. How do you assess that?
We're quite pleased with it. Talking to Frankie before the draw, his preference order was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So when 2 was available, we took it.
How do you play the race in your mind? Are you that sort of trainer and think, well, this is what I want to happen? How do you assess it?
Well, I think that there should be a couple of pace horses in there, and I think Special Fighter, coming off of a big win on the lead, would show some pace. I think the American horses, California Chrome and Frosted, could show some speed as well. So I like to analyze a race beforehand, but and we'll communicate with Frankie sort of what we think plan A is. But when you put a guy like Frankie up, or the guys that we use, there's always an audible that might need to be called, and so I don't want to handcuff anyone with any instructions. We'll have an idea of how the race might unfold, and then oftentimes it doesn't unfold that way. So,
and for you, as I mentioned, you've won so many awards in your training career. To win a World Cup, where would this rank in terms of sort of being on your CV?
Oh, I would put it at the highest level.
So, Harry, from your perspective and the team, I'm presumably encouraged that spectacular, borderline spectacular, which how encouraged are you by that?
No, very, very. I mean, I'm kept sort of so well informed by Bradley Wiseboard, our man in the States, obviously Todd and his team, that one sort of feels and also sort of living with the horse. It's fantastic. No, it's been touch wood, a great build up. I think Bradley's been and Todd have been talking about this horse working so well on dirt. and at some point we were going to have to go and see what happened. And it's been an incredible story since then. I mean, now we're much more. We feel more dirt than turf, obviously.
And has that been a sort of surprise to the team, just the fact that the switches was so relatively straightforward?
Well, I think when horse, I mean, he's bred to be obviously a dirt horse, but his life started from Breeze-Ups in France. Nicolas de Watragon bought him at the Breeze-Ups, and obviously he's a very, very good turf horse, and it's very rare. There aren't too many, I don't think, in the world that have won on Group 1s on dirt and turf, and it puts him in a very special place. But he seems like the rhythm of the race on dirt almost suits him better. He's got terrific cruising speed.
And that's what you need. But what would for the team? Special for Todd, but for the team and your involvement and where your team are now going at Al Shakab Racing. What would it mean to win the Dubai World Cup?
Well, it's just one of the great races of the world, and that's what the races that Al Shakab Sheikh Johan want to win. I mean, prize money is one thing; it's prestige of the race is everything. And obviously, this is right there up with at the top of the tree with the likes of the Arc de Triomphe that Sheikh Johan Al Shakab won with the mighty Trev, and but we're very young in the game. I mean, we've been, this is extremely exciting to have a horse third in the betting for a race like this.
And how optimistic are you? I mean, your glass tends to be quite full.
Yeah, but I thrive on people being enthusiastic, and I'm hopefully realistic as well. But this has been an incredible journey. This is a real good horse, and he's very tough. I think seeing how he's won his Group 1 on dirt last time, and talking to obviously to Bradley and Todd. I mean, this is a really exciting moment. I mean, he's still, we feel, I think Todd will say this, we feel he's still on that upward trajectory, and he's a hell of a speed figure last time, and I would love to think that we, Al Shakab team, everyone will get a big shout on tomorrow.
So, and if all goes well tomorrow, have you got a sort of strategy in mind, Todd, that you think would be for the rest of the year? Presumably you'd end up with the Breeders' Cup or something like that, but what would be the sort of the thought process for the rest of the year?
Well, we'll take him back home, and similar to last year, give him a little freshening after the race when he returns to the States, and we'll kind of assess how he bounces out of it. But he took the trip really well last year. I anticipate he'll do the same this year, and we'd love to be thinking about the Breeders' Cup in the fall.
And Harry, just sort of widening the brief a little bit, other horses that you are particularly keen to see run this year, which horses in particular?
Well, Shalar obviously is our most exciting 3-year-old at this stage, second highest rated 2-year-old in Europe last year. Brilliantly fast horse, Frankie very high on the horse, and bar that one blip where we thought he was a shoe-in first time up at Newbury on Al Shakab Lockinge Day, but he didn't quite know what the game was all about. He's undefeated, dual Group 1 winning 2-year-old. He's wintered really well. He's a bull of a horse, absolutely massively powerful animal. He's gone the right way. Sheikh Johan went to see him 2 or 3 days ago at John Goslin's and inquired to John as to whether the Guineas might be something he would want to consider, and he said he definitely would not want to take him that route. So he won't be going the Guineas route. We will stick to sprinting, and Commonwealth Cup at Ascot is his primary objective. We may look at that bonus race where he doesn't get a penalty, the Tattersalls race, is somewhere to start him off, but we're very excited about him. Very excited. And there's a lot of very nice horses we feel who are either once raced or unraced who are training very well at the moment. In France with André Fabre-Gardère, very good filly we think, and could be a Pouliche filly for for French 1,000 guineas. But there's a lot of nice horses, and it'll all unfold.
Brilliant.